He's got no clue what's happening next. The blind wizard stumbles through each quest. Magic's wild, memories hazy, but trust the vibe even if it's crazy. He's got a friend, she's small but wise. The prediction princess, the theories will arise. No spoilers, just fate. Let the story unfold. Blind reactions with a heart of gold.
Hello YouTube, the Blind Wizard here, and we are at the season finale of Demon Lore 2099. We made it, finally. The final episode, episode 12. And boy, oh boy, I can see now what this finale is going to be. It's going to be Veltol and company, I guess, fighting Meldia? I don't quite understand what's going to happen because... What, does Meldia see Veltol as still a threat to the world or something? I don't know. I'm very confused. I wonder what's actually going on here. And if Meldia's in play, then someone else has to make an appearance. Because, like, where did Graham disappear to at the end of the last arc, episode 7? Where did Graham go? Huh? And if Meldia's here, I feel like he's going to be attracted to this. I'm just saying that because if it's also a finale, I would think that Graham would show up. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get right on into that episode finale. And that means the post-episode discussion this time is the season discussion, where I give my thoughts on the whole season, good and bad if there were any bad, and I give my overall impression of the show. So, next time you see me will be that post-episode and season discussion. And abracadabra, alakazam. Alrighty, post-episode and post-anime discussion, because it is the finale. And might I say, that was quite the episode. So we confirm once again that Graham and his new secretary are in Akihabara, although we knew that since the post-credits of a previous episode, so I just had to remind myself of that. So, like, he's here, and he doesn't feel the need to interfere in the conflict yet, whereas he then witnesses the light in the distance, which was the return of Meldia, and, she just starts being her usual self and starts attacking Veltol for no reason, other than the fact that they used to be sworn enemies. But, when it comes to a lot of the things that don't quite make sense with Meldia, Veltol was spitting facts to her. Like, you're a goddess. You robbed an innocent girl of her livelihood, her life, her future, everything by taking her as a vessel. And what was she even after in the first place, Like, Veltol was saying a lot of good points that I was saying. It doesn't make sense. Why are you here? Why are you attacking us? And then the episode remembers that the person who killed Trate is still masquerading as her, and then she has an associate with her who goes by the codename Ange, but Makina recognizes as a friend of hers in May. So I'm very curious how that's going to evolve, how that's going to play out, because that was clearly a setup for the future. And I can, after watching the boss play Arknights live, why does Ange give me Spectre vibes? They do seem very similar, don't they? Even down to the small trait of having a sort of amnesia? I know a little bit about Spectre. Any Arknights people can correct me in the comments. I'm only the Blind Wizard. I was just making a comparison based on what the boss has been doing lately. But so they leave, but before they do, of course, pseudo Trate. Is this just like the JJK situation where we called the guy in Ghetto's body fake Ghetto? Should I just be calling her fake Trate? She didn't really give a name for herself. Fine, I guess I can call her Fake Trotte. Before she leaves with Ange, or should I say May, she activates a safeguard that she planted in Meldia to make her go berserk. And I'm just like, thank you. I was kind of questioning for a second there, why would you bring Meldia back and have her full consciousness? Like, I was wondering when it was going to kick in. Because it didn't make sense to me that an evil organization who had dealings with Marcus would bring back Meldia and not have anything else go on. So that made sense. She starts to rampage. Her clothes turn red, her eyes turn red. And then Graham shows up to help. And unlike the last time where it was basically like a very specific mission and Veltol kind of had to beg for Graham's help, this time it was very simple. Graham's like, okay, you need help, buddy? I'll back you up. And that was that. Meldia saw Graham for a split second, and then she got stabbed by Veltol's new sword that renders the soul dead, so she... Sorry, got cut off there. Where was I? Oh, yes. So apparently this whole time, Meldia she was sorry and wanted to know how Graham felt because she didn't realize that giving him eternal youth would give him such a tragic fate and future. And Veltol's like, but if you already know all that, why are you here to see for yourself? Like, what was that even for? And he tells Meldia, the feeling you have for Graham is love. You fell in love with the man. And then, it starts to make sense with the whole favoring him, having a preference for him, and giving him eternal youth. Because she fell in love with Graham. She probably wanted Graham to join her in the godhood of herself so that they could be together forever, but she never was able to get around to that. Now, of course, Hizuki is having none of this. She could care less about Meldia and just wants Meldia out of her body up until the moment Veltol strikes her down. And then she says one last time to Hizuki that I'm sorry. And then, Graham basically... I have a feeling Graham knows about Meldia, and he was just walking away because he didn't want to bring up the past, and that he is just moving forward now. And Meldia is kind of a relic of a really bygone era, so unfortunately she couldn't have the love of Graham that she so desperately wanted. So I did cry for her, I did tear up for her, because Veltol also said it well, it was misguided and a very desperate attempt, and it was all really doing some crazy things, but her feelings were honest. He could tell, that she just honestly wanted Graham's opinion, she wanted Graham's answer, and all that. So that's kind of sad, but that is now the final death of Meldia. Now there's the issue of, well, 2 of the 3 Great House Regalia owners are dead, because technically the fake Trotte killed the real Trotte, who's now also lost because of her mind and soul being lost in an explosion. So Hizuki and Veltol appear before Akihabara before it erupts into war, and shows that she has all 3 regalia and that she is technically the king of Akihabara. And, but there was already a lot stacked against her because, oh, she's from the traitorous family. Oh, she's from the people that lost the regalia. And then the other side goes, oh, that's an outsider. I'm getting tired of these kinds of people. They are getting so annoying. But the late Cornea's secretary or assistant guy stands up for Hizuki to be like, let her speak. Just let her speak. She's the king of Akihabara by right of the regalia. And Veltol also stands for her as well. And she lays it out, the whole truth, that Trotte was killed and replaced with a fake, who then killed Cornea for the regalia, and then they acquired the regalia because they technically took the sword from the fake Trate. They acquired it, and it now falls under the ownership of Hizuki, because killing the previous owner is not the only way to get ownership of the regalia. And then, of course, she lays it out that the ruling class and the kingship of Akihabara is now null and void, which was definitely one of Cornea's like dying wishes, to have there be change in Akihabara, so there would be no more factions and ruling and nobility and all that. And I just love that the transition to like everyone wondering, what are we going to do then? To Hizuki going, you people can suck it, deal with it yourselves. You just transition to a statue of Graham flipping people off, because this was probably Graham after he got exiled. And he was just being like, you guys can go suck it. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was so good. And then, of course, our mission objective is finished. We got the book that we were after, and we were able to confirm that 2 other of the 6 Dark Peers are still alive and out there. And then Hizuki transferred to Shinjuku and Takahashi's school, and she seems to be doing so much better for herself. And I love that line at the very end where she's like, Veltol, so? Did you forgive me? And he's like, of course I did. And I just love that. Now, I talked about the episode a lot already, so there's not much I need to say about the season as a whole, but I will anyway because it's tradition at this point for anyone on this channel. So, season discussion. I loved from the onset the concept of a medieval world that merged with our world. I wasn't even ready for that twist at the beginning, but it merged with our world, and then Veltol awoke so many years later that it was basically like a cyberpunk version of 2 worlds. I will always find that concept to be really cool. And bravo JC Staff for the awesome animation. Because there are times I don't trust JC Staff, but they delivered with this one. And plenty of others that I have seen in the past. The ref can attest to level 2 cheat. But I love the character of Machina. I hated Marcus, which was the point. The voice acting was on point. Takahashi was a great addition to the cast. Veltol becoming a streamer was something I did not expect, but definitely loved. Graham getting a whole episode to himself fighting his future secretary was pretty cool. Veltol's new second form came out of nowhere and I loved it. The whole school arc was pretty cool. There was a mystery about looking for a lost regalia. I actually called the prediction really early of where the orb was, and I was so glad to be right. But I was not ready for a fake Trate. I was not ready for her to be murdered. I was not ready for the guy from before to be murdered. But I was also not ready for Meldia to even make a return at all. So there's definitely a plot stirring, and the voice cast nailed it. I gotta give Ian Sinclair credit. I don't think he ever had the lead role in a series that I've watched before. He nailed Veltol. He got to be the main character of a show, and he delivered. He gave his A game. Ian is definitely a top 5 voice actor for me, or top 10. He's definitely in my good list, where I could trust their performance. Machina's as well. I know her voice. I forgot her name. But not many others stood out to me. So this show was great, and I'm glad I did it. But now we've reached the end, which means I announce the next one up for me. Aside from the fact I still have Freerin. And once again, sorry for being cut off, but just going to wrap this up quickly so this doesn't happen again. The show to take this place of this one will be Cells at Work. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you liked it. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the video with a friend, join the Patreon, go check out the stuff over there, have fun with it, and of course, keep your notifications on, because as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.